The following podcast is presented in IMAX 70mm format. Hey guys, welcome to CinemaTalk, the official podcast of RuleThirds.com. Today we're talking about something very important to the history and culture of movies, and I'm really excited about it. We're talking theater-going experiences. It's going to be a good time. With that in mind, my name is Max.
My name is Sean.
And my name is Larry.
Alright guys, I hate to leave the theater. We should probably go to the lobby and then come back to the theater that we apparently record this podcast in.
For a theater, the acoustics are pretty good.
Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
So, how are we doing today? Happy December, you two. It's been a good November. How are you guys doing?
Pretty good. I'm
good.
I'm happy.
Yeah. How was your Thanksgiving?
Very nice.
Good.
I actually I finally watched Planes, Trains, and Automobiles,
How was that?
which is like the
Good.
only the only full length Thanksgiving movie there is, pretty much.
Well, there's also Thanksgiving, which is a popular film about apparently how turkeys come back and have revenge on humans.
That insane concept is probably why I've never heard of it. But I liked it. John Hughes, smart guy, writes very smart comedies. If you look past all the dumb, gross out jokes, there's a heart. There's a heart. And I like
And Steve Martin saves anything,
Oh, well, yeah, duh.
including Little Shop of Horrors.
I'll
Well,
be
okay,
your
no, he couldn't save it.
dentist.
He was just the only good part of that movie. That's all.
Okay.
I just got to slide in my, opinion of classic film that people are going to get upset at if they listen. So,
Yeah, what did you do, Sean? What did you do?
I went up
Anything?
to my grandparents' farm for a day and met up with the cousins, aunts, uncles, twice removed, nieces. Just a giant family gathering for Thanksgiving. Made my
Nice.
highly anticipated pumpkin pie, and that was about it.
Nice. So, there's one thing, speaking of Thanksgiving, there's something that brings all movie buffs together. Like, literally. Like, there's one place that we see in many different locations that just brings everyone together, and that is the movie
supermarket. What?
Theater.
What?
No.
I'm sorry, I'm confused here. Dentist.
Much like that old guy in The Emperor's New Groove, you really did throw off my groove there, Sean.
You threw off my groove. I actually watched that also on Thanksgiving.
It's
Double feature.
Yeah, but it's what I meant to say is that movie theaters bring a lot of people together, and it's, I think, one of the most important aspects of film culture because it really does create the ultimate movie going experience. Like, you cannot get what you get at home in a movie theater.
Now,
no matter how hard you try.
No. Now, see, that's why I'm very curious about this topic, Max. I'm not sure if I totally agree with you on this.
What?
So I'm very interested in what you see in a movie-going experience. What you define, the movie-going experience as, and what you think it gains. What's the upsides to it? What makes it worth it? Because of course it's expensive, and I kind of want to hear that because I don't know if I don't think I'm totally in love with going to the movie theater.
Really?
Yeah,
I
I'm
love
really
going
not.
to the movie theater.
Like, I like popcorn.
I'm not even being ironic by saying this, but what a twist! I actually had no idea Sean was about to throw that.
Well, I don't know. I don't.
Okay, I didn't know that either, but I'm not surprised.
If I could just, outside of the passive-aggressive subtext there, Max, if I could watch every new release movie just at my own house, I probably would. No, actually, I definitely would.
Out of laziness or out of actual wanting?
Out of just, I don't know. There are very few exceptions. Now, I'll grant you there are exceptions that
Of
I
course.
like being in a theater.
Yeah.
Comedies, of course.
Yeah,
comedies are good. However,
That's a
I
large
found that just
portion of the
watching
year.
a comedy with one or two of my friends is the exact same effect.
Anyway,
For me,
what I wanted to start off before we get into this debate is I want to know, what are your favorite, what do you guys think are your most memorable movie going experiences?
Oh man,
Okay.
I got a few of those. Give me a sec. I gotta think of which one I want to talk about.
Okay, I have a good first one. I have a few.
Yeah,
one.
favorite. We'll get to least favorite in a second. Favorite, Sean.
Well, I can't really think of a least favorite.
Okay.
Oh, I have a least
Anyway.
favorite. I have both.
favorite. One of my favorites. It's one of the earliest I can remember. Well, no, actually, that's not true. But it's my anyway. Early favorite was it was really hot. It was the summer. This was quite a while back. It was 2003, actually. And I wanted to go to a movie, and it was a super exciting movie, and it just blew my mind. And it was when my dad took me to Pirates of the Caribbean, the Curse of the Black Pearl, first one.
Is that why you hold the franchise in such high regard?
No, I hold it in such high regards because I love it.
Anyway, it's a great movie.
But the experience itself was, it's funny because that was at not good movie theater at all. It was that theater that was barely hanging on, that promptly shut down when a full multiplex came in. It was not a good theater at all, but the movie made it just awesome, and I remember just mind blowing seeing it for the first time. Wonderful adventure, and yeah, that would there's nothing specific about the movie going experience. It was just the act of seeing that movie for the first time, which kind of supports my argument that I don't really care about the theater itself.
I think there's more to the movie going experience than just the theater, though.
Well, right, but
absolutely.
I've never. Let me put it this way: I've never gotten a positive vibe. I've never had a positive interaction with an audience. It's always been slightly off than what would be wanted.
Sean.
Yeah, with that in mind, Larry, give me a favorite movie going experience that you have.
Enough of the really condescending.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be condescending.
Larry.
It was segueing into what I was about to say.
Okay, what were you going to say?
One of my favorite movie-going experiences of all time is when I went to go see The Avengers. The Friday after school that it came out. It doesn't exactly beat the Thursday night.
I did the same thing.
I know, right? It was this was me. Okay, so small backstory. It was around the time the first Hunger Games movie came out when I started making my official movie going, crew. You know how you always have those friends you always go to see movies with?
Crew?
Well,
No.
not yo, crew, but I'm
no, not even.
just
not
a
even
group
that,
of
no.
friends who you always go to see movies with. It's because
Nope.
there's a movie. Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
I usually go to the movies by myself, honestly.
I have really.
Oh wow.
Yes.
I
Wow.
always
I
try
have-
not to do that. Even sometimes
See,
I do.
have. I go with my dad a lot. Sometimes go with the whole
same.
family.
Family's
And
a big
my
thing.
roommates here, I usually go with them. But even if I'm not there, if I'm back home, I'll meet up with I guess 3 friends. I would say I commonly go to movies with.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not. Almost. Actually, I could say only once for the second Hobbit movie, all at one time. It's just which of the 3 wanted to see the movie.
Yeah, but I'm
I don't have a group though.
maybe I'm in high school, so it might be a little bit of a different dynamic. Maybe.
Well, I've never had a group.
Okay, fine, whatever. It's just me. But considering I was in high school and a movie theater was literally a 10-minute walk away from my high school, me and a few friends who I'm very close with would just go to see a movie every Friday after school. We choose the time, we just go, and Avengers was a big deal.
What
deal.
movie?
Avengers.
Not really.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so screw you, Sean. So Avengers was a huge deal. So much so that we didn't go to that other one. We literally planned out driving to a completely different theater, that had better seats, and it was IMAX screen and everything, just for that. It was awesome. So
okay. Sorry, go ahead.
And so it was and see, now that goes back to my point. A movie-going experience is not just about the theater. It's about the audience also. And I'm telling you, The Avengers is an audience... it was obvious.
Yeah,
every single person in that audience wanted
designed there specifically.
Right. It was clear. Everybody in that audience I was with wanted to see this, was hyped. And it was
I get
awesome.
that. They're just so far and few in between. I see so many movies in theaters, and The Avengers is the only one that can come to mind. Even stuff like Guardians of the Galaxy, even other Marvel movies that have the fan base, I don't really see me wanting to be there with that fan group. It's so The Avengers. Yes, I agree. That's cool, and I think I did see it with people. They were cheering and stuff. I remember seeing.
Oh yeah, are you kidding
the audience was filled with
so much clapping,
right? And that was cool. I just that's so rare for me. It's just I don't know. I don't know
You'll
why.
be surprised. I remember what was actually shocking was when I went to go see Gone Girl this past weekend. I finally got to that. That movie's been out for over a month, right? Over a month at this point. The movie theater was probably 80% full.
Wait, a month? It's been out for more than a month. It's been out for
a month.
almost 2 months for
Almost
for
two?
almost like a month and a half.
A month and a half.
It came out the first weekend of October.
Okay, well,
October
the
3rd.
point of the matter is, the movie theater was like 80% full
That's great.
at this show, which was like a 9:45 Saturday night show, which is actually understandable. It's Saturday night, but anyway, and like that was actually a very movie audience also, because we all were having a great time. Because weirdly, there are some parts of Gone Girl that were kind of funny that probably shouldn't have been. Just kind of out of just strangeness.
See, that always kind of okay, there we go. That's a criticism I have, where it's such like the larger the audience, the more like different types of
People.
audience members
Right.
there are, and so you always get the people that are either way like on the like more negative than you or more positive. Like, you know, you're watching the movie and like you're unimpressed. Like people at my TMNT show, which funny enough is like the only movie in recent memory that I went to alone. People were like, there was this group up there that were like, you know, clapping, cheering, and it just felt so off.
That isn't such a clappy, cheery movie.
Well, to them it was. Again, this is all
Yeah.
subjective.
I guess
That's
so,
the
yeah.
thing. The audience is totally
Yeah.
subjective, and that makes it hard. Because then there's also the people that, you know, I was having a great time at Transformers Age of Extinction. I was just having a blast. And there had to be the downer in front of me that's just like, oh my god, this is so dumb, and walked out. Like, that's what he said. And not quietly. Like, he wanted the audience to hear and left. And I wanted to shout back,
And no one
yeah,
likes those guys.
It is.
Being
but-
close. Wait, I have multiple experiences of being near a downer when it comes to talking or watching movies.
Oh yeah, by the way, talking. That's another problem.
What? No,
People
Sean, I was
talking
talking
during
about
the
you.
movies.
I was making a joke about how you're always downer. That was the joke.
Why was I... Wait, when am I down?
Oh my god. What have you
Oh,
done,
it's-
Max? What have you
I've
done?
never been a downer at a movie.
Jesus. Okay,
I've-
okay. Moving on from that.
I would
from
never
that.
responded to
No,
a movie.
we're-
Even as a little kid,
Oh,
I like
Jesus.
don't respond to movies like audibly and express like that also kind of bothers me. when people
I
do that,
definitely
like-
respond to movies. I'll be the first to admit, like maybe once or twice throughout whenever I'm in a theater, I'll make some sort of small comment to my friend on the side. Like if I
can't do that.
I know.
hate
If
when
I
people do
see
that.
something
movie
that's so
theaters-
unbelievable that like takes me out of it, I'm just like, what the hell just happened? Like I'll go nuts.
See, Larry, if I was in charge of like all movie theaters, I would have you thrown out every time you said that.
Thank you.
Talking during a movie is borderline treason.
Ha! Yes, that's a great way to put it. It is
See,
treason.
okay, all right. This is gonna be the last time I'm gonna bring this up. I swear to God, the last time I'm gonna bring this up for a while.
No. You're not allowed to.
What?
It's like the 12th billionth time. Fine. Talk. Go ahead. Tell us about
Well, I do run a movie club, and
Oh, wait.
You run
Hold
a
on.
movie club?
Boop. Know your
Guys.
terms. I got the scoop for you. Sorry.
This just in.
Sorry.
Max Mariner runs a
Guys.
movie club. Sorry.
Man,
Tell
you
us
guys really
about
know-
the movie club, Max.
I'm trying to make a point here that I patrol the theater and I do kind of tell people who are talking to shut the fuck up. I always do, because that's what you have to do. I don't tell them though. I just give them the nastiest look I can think of. Well, because I tell them at the beginning, I'm like, hey, don't talk during the movie. And when we're talking during the movie, I give them the look of what you're doing is bad. And I have the ability to call security and have them thrown out, and I will do that.
Damn.
Okay.
Sir, authority.
I think we can see that kind of proves my point. I like being absorbed in movies, right? And whether it's, here's the thing: it can be anything. It can be the jerk audience member talking, the just obnoxiously loud one.
I've never
Or-
had an experience with a jerk audience member ever.
Oh
Really?
wow, you're
Oh,
missing
yeah,
out.
never.
You're missing out, buddy. Those can
Except
be really
there was
funny.
this one time, Scott Pilgrim, these three guys in the background during that opening sequence, they were like, just get to the movie. And I was like, shut the fuck up. That's how this movie works.
Well,
anyway, continue.
But even if it's something like a friend leaning over and trying to talk to me, no. I'm absorbed in the film. I don't want to talk. You can be my bestest friend. Not during the movie. And that's the thing. Most of my friends, I don't really remember a friend, ever really trying that. I think everyone kind of gets it that watches movies with me. So that's good.
Yeah,
So I
I
don't wanna single out
totally
anyone 'cause
understand.
nothing
I
comes to
completely
mind.
understand that point, and trust me, I do my best to never talk. And if a movie can get me to like totally shut my mouth 100% without making some sort of comment in my mind, like during it, like holy hell, good job. But like every so often, some films like there's just like something will just happen in it, and maybe this might be a plot thing. Like I legit have no idea what's going on. Like that, like I think there was one time during Interstellar where I turned to my friend like, "Yo, do you realize what just happened?" And he goes, "Yeah," blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool." And then we just continued. But like, I mean, trust me, there are far worse than me. I mean, I don't mean to like.
Let me
get
put it this way,
myself up.
Larry. I don't think any comment you can come up with is worth interrupting the movie.
Yeah,
the movie. It's the movies. The movie only has this certain amount of time to like express anything or communicate anything. You can talk after the screening. Even if you're confused on a plot point, it's going to kind of work itself out. I've noticed that in movies. Like, if you're confused, the movie's going to go on with you or not. Eventually, it'll kind of all fit together anyway. Now, details obviously, like, sometimes they can be missed, but you get the general gist. So, I don't care if it's a comment you think is funny, or a question, or just a expression of disbelief. It's not worth it.
Yeah,
it's
and
not
often
better than what the movie's doing.
Isn't funny. Like, seriously, the comment is usually not funny. Nobody completely engrossed in the movie is going to think of an honestly good joke to make. They just make the joke so they can distract themselves.
Now, something that's an exception to this is sometimes, like, I'll have an inside joke with my roommates, and so something will go up on, I can't remember what it was. It was something in Big Hero 6. Oh, that's right. We found it hilarious how the Big Hero 6 trailer, the police officer said kabuki mask. A kabuki mask.
A kabuki mask.
And so when that played in the movie, we just looked at each other. We're like, hey, there it is. That's it. We didn't say anything. We didn't like, kabuki mask. You guys like looked at each other like,
you know
joke.
what's funny. You know what's funny here.
We acknowledged the inside joke, and then we were back.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that happening to me too.
And I enjoy watching movies with friends. I don't like watching movies alone.
Watching movies with friends is the best.
Exactly.
I love that.
However, that is not the same as the common public movie-going audience. That's not the same. It's so different. Even if you have your secluded group of friends in the main audience, you can't help but share with the main audience, and that's where the problems come up of like talking and stuff we've already been through.
I don't agree with the whole friends is good, because movie-going is an antisocial experience. You are literally just looking at a screen.
Nope. Oh, no.
Yeah, that's not...
Film going...
No.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. Everyone's like, the classic date scenario is dinner and a movie.
Yeah.
No, it's movie and dinner. You see that movie, and then you talk about that movie.
Oh, yeah. Are you kidding me? Totally. Why?
Now, the only time... Well, I guess if you've already seen the movie... Anyway, that's not important right now.
Yeah,
but
unless you've already seen the movie, which... Okay, never mind.
I want to see the movie, but I also want to talk to people about it. I love talking about... Hey, spoiler, I talk about it, like we talked about last time. We spend an hour every week, and that's like, 2% of the time we spend in our other activities talking about movies.
Yeah.
I love talking about movies, especially right after seeing them. Okay, not right after. Am I the only one that likes like this break where you just don't talk?
Yeah, well, usually, for me, it's usually just the movie ends, we watch the credits roll, and we just sit there and we collect some thoughts together.
See, for me, it's when I get to the car. Movie ends, we walk out.
No, for me, it's usually when I step back into the lobby of the theater.
I like my lobby walking.
Lobby.
I like that, especially with like Interstellar. My dad and I, neither of us could like talk to like halfway home. It was just mind blowing. Okay, what was I getting at?
Lost it.
It is very social, as in right after. Now, okay, people argue like video games are antisocial, and that's not true because like it's a live interaction. You're playing with friends.
That's fine. No, but like in a movie, like you're just like you're observing a screen, and you're not supposed to talk, so you can't talk to friends.
But I guess like. But that's only half of it. That's only half of the movie viewing experience. Not the movie going. That's defined by theater. I'm talking just in general. Watching a movie, the movie is like half of it. And then it's discussing it. Then it's sharing thoughts and like, oh, wasn't that so cool? It can be as shallow as, oh my goodness, when Godzilla breathed the fire down the final monster's mouth. Oh,
that was
wow.
a great scene. Yeah.
That's fine. That's totally for it. Or you could turn around and say, the subtext of blank and the way that it analyzes the modern relationship of like that's good too. I find us talking about movies as satisfactory as seeing them.
Yeah, in my opinion, you can't see a movie. But for me,
that's
personally, you can't see a movie and not talk about it. Like the two have to go together.
Wait. What do you? No, what I'm trying to say is that the movie, like watching the movie, in real time is not a social experience.
Right. Okay. So
That's
That's
understandable.
what I
Let's
mean.
bounce off that.
No, talking about the movie, that's like entirely social. You can't,
Right, okay,
unless you're
let's-
like writing something.
I'd like to bounce off that and say when you specify it that way, I agree, and I think it needs to be that way, and that supports my argument. Something that kind of bothers me is, okay, film is totally subjective, right?
Yes.
Like the enjoyment of film totally subjective. It's your emotional subjective experience watching it. Great. So what I don't like is, I was kind of getting at earlier with like the big audience, the different types of people. So, okay, I was at Interstellar, right?
Yeah.
A few days ago. I saw it again, and it you know, I'm not going to spoil anything, of course, but there's a particular scene that happened that was kind of shocking. You know, it wasn't a huge shock. I think you guys know which one I'm talking about, where I loved hearing the reaction. It's like one of the few instances where I'm glad I was in a theater. It was the death scene that's the easiest to hear the reaction to. I think you guys know which one I'm talking
Wait,
about.
in what movie again? In what movie?
Interstellar.
Oh yeah.
Don't
That's-
spoil,
I
but it's
gotcha.
that one character's death, and then it's super easy to hear the audience's response. Anyway,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I was in Interstellar, and this reveal happened, and even though and this wouldn't have been my reaction even the first time, like this kind of reveal happened, and actually no, it was the second time I saw it. It wasn't the third. It was the second time I saw it, and there was the reveal, and then this person else goes, and it was just it was jarring to me. You know, because that's not my response. My response was, I didn't audibly say it, but in my head I was like, ooh, yeah,
My
good.
response
that's a good
is
reveal.
just the thud of my back hitting the chair.
Right.
That's my response.
What I'm trying to get at here is that you're going to get totally different types of responses, and to me they feel inappropriate. And so if I'm just sitting alone or with just a certain amount of friends that I usually share at least somewhat like likes and dislikes with, the response is going to be generally the same in the same ballpark. But if I'm in the audience, I'm going to get people that are reacting in totally different ways that I'm going to find like, why are you reacting that way? And it goes beyond as extreme as like super negative or super positive or like laughing when it's not funny or not laughing when it is. It just comes down to like how people respond and like the level of social awareness in terms of expressing that response. Like I've had my heart just drop in a movie, but I've never been, I've never like gasped out loud, and I think it is a private, non-social, non-interacting experience, and when you're surrounded by dozens and dozens of people, you can't help but get some of that from others. At least I find it inappropriate to be audibly responding, unless it's something really, really extreme.
Yeah, I remember when I went to go see Gravity, which was one of the only movies that I've seen in recent memory alone. Okay, I'm not gonna. Yes, I know. I'm not gonna spoil anything. But there are many scenes where things will build up and then it'll lead to silence. I'm sure you're both very aware. And one of those times, probably the biggest time, it's towards the end of the movie. Literally, everything went quiet. Huge thing happens, and some guy in the back of the theater goes, "Oh shit!" Right? And I'm just like,
that's funny now.
dude, come on.
That's really funny now.
Silence.
Like, that's really funny now. We're laughing. But in the movie, when you're trying to be in the moment, how
I
distracting is that?
I
that
laughed.
ruins
I laughed. Everybody in the theater laughed because he said that.
And
I
you
feel
shouldn't
that,
be.
I know.
It should be intense.
I tried,
it should be.
but bro,
exactly. See, that's the thing. That's the problem that I have with being an audience. Like, you know, I should make that clear. I want to talk about that later. I love going to a movie theater. I don't like the fact that there's an audience there.
Wow. I like going to a movie. I just don't want anybody else around me.
Yes,
while I'm
Elvis
seeing.
Presley was a genius. He would buy every single ticket for a movie showing just so he could go into the movie theater and watch it alone.
Oh, really? Wow.
What
a guy.
It's brilliant.
What a guy.
See, the last movie I saw on my own was Interstellar, and I was very surprised at like how respectful the audience was. Like there was no talking
that's
whatsoever.
the thing. Like I said, I can't think of like a worse showing. Showings are usually it's pretty neutral. It just kind of irritates, you know. So I don't want to sound like I cannot enjoy a movie around people. I'm fine, obviously, because I watch movies and love them in theaters. It's just a matter of that slight annoyance that could be removed if the audience was.
But Sean, the audience provides so much more annoyance than just talking.
Well, yeah.
Just talking That's the least of my problems.
Well, that's my biggest
You
problem.
know how
What-
annoying
what
it
do you
is when you're watching a movie and you're looking at the screen and suddenly a very bright light appears at the bottom right of your vision.
You know what's weird?
And you look and you see someone on their cell phone.
Yeah, okay. Now, see, I get that. What's really weird is that I cannot remember the last time someone was texting during a movie.
Well, then you clearly don't live where I live because
And I
everyone
sit in the
texts
back.
during
I
Somebody
movies.
did
usually
that-
sit in the back. So I
Somebody did
would've missed
that
it.
during my screening for Godzilla, and like he was in the right fucking front of the movie theater. I had to go down. I was like, dude, and he was one of my good friends. He's like, dude, put your fucking phone away, dude. Everybody could see it. And
Yeah.
he's like, oh, and he was holding it up. He wasn't like trying to hide it. He was holding it up, like right where like
Oh my
he would be
god,
viewing
that's
the screen.
so douchey.
Okay, he's a great guy. He's awesome. But I was like, dude, put your fucking phone away. It was, oh god.
Oh, jeez, that'd be so hard.
Okay, so
No, I am, because I don't want people turning their fucking phones on.
Yeah,
I tell them,
go
turn your phones
hardcore.
off.
no, movies deserve to go hardcore. It's
Yeah.
treason, like you
I
said.
remember
It's
during
treason.
Gone Girl.
Up with their head.
During Gone
Off with their
Girl,
head.
during that scene, like
Ah, the
that-
best, like yeah.
that
Wait.
scene, you know.
Wait, are we talking about that
A
scene
certain
or
murder
that scene
Uh,
or that scene or
a
that
murder
scene?
Neil Patrick Harris's big moment
Oh.
in the movie.
Well,
So-
I feel like Larry piecing together what we have said independently. It's kind of a big spoiler for Gone Girl.
Nah. Okay. So, well, I mean, you said it was what
Yeah.
it was. I
Yeah,
didn't.
that's right.
I just
Neil
said
Patrick
that.
Harris murdering somebody. I remember that from the movie.
Yes,
don't
exactly.
you guys? Sorry
Guys,
for spoiling
geez.
that, everybody.
Well, see, now your sarcasm has eliminated the 50-50 shot. We had at least had that.
So
Gosh.
during that scene, my mouth was dropped, and like me and my cousin and my dad who were with me were just like, and some obnoxious douchebag sitting on the left, his
Oh,
ringtone starts.
Oh.
And I'm like, and
See-
it's it's not just any ringtone, it's the the annoying marimba
Marimba.
fucking Apple ringtone. And I'm just like, okay, bro, turn that fucking phone off.
See, okay. Can we just reflect for a second at how we started with the film going experience? Literally everything you two have said is a negative.
Well, hey, no, not everything
I
I've
think there's
said.
absolutely merit to it. It's just people suck.
Avengers, the Avengers screening is one of the best memories I've ever had as far as movie going
And see, Sean,
experiences go.
for a guy who doesn't like the movie going experience, you sure did go out of your way to see Interstellar in the biggest theater you could possibly
Exactly.
find.
Exactly. That's what the next point I wanted to discuss was. Do you want to segue it, Max? Because I want to talk about outside of the audience.
Well, can I just, while we're on the subject of talking with me, I just want to talk about my worst movie going experience real quick.
All right.
I was watching Super 8. It was my most anticipated movie of that year.
I'm yet to see it.
Oh wow, you should.
All right. So I was getting into it. I was with all my friends. It was the last day of school. I guess I had this thing where I would just go to the movies after school, and especially on the last day of school. I was with all my friends. Well, most of them were friends. And good fucking lord, there are two of these guys, one of which is my closest friend, another guy is they just kept talking during the loud action scenes. And they're like, you can't hear us talk during the action scenes because they're so loud. I was so angry. I kept telling them, shut up. And they just would not stop. They would give me lip, and I was so angry afterwards. I had to take a block around, like I had to walk around an entire block before I went back and
Yeah,
told them to
I
fuck
get
off.
it.
Like it drove me fucking crazy. So yeah, I know I've been saying a lot of negative things, but that's only because it's people. It's not the movie. Like it's not the setup. The setup, the movie, and all that stuff. That's what makes it so gold. It's not,
So now, I've been nothing but negative. Why do I bother? Well, let's talk about the theater itself, the technology behind it, why it's worth it.
Immersion.
Because yes, Max, yeah, you brought up an excellent point. For those that don't know, I am in Bozeman, Montana, at school, but my house is in Helena, Montana, and it's only like an hour 40 minutes away. So I'm not talking about this giant epic journey of self-discovery. You know, nothing for the next indie hit. I think I'd talk about I go meet my estranged father. There it is. Anyway, nothing like that.
There you go.
It's not that far, but I had a film shoot really early the next morning. But I drove to Helena to see Interstellar on opening day because they have an XD screen and it was playing on there, whereas my theater here did not. It just had a kind of a normal screen, and XD is much bigger and better sound system and all that. So I drove. Well, I should say I had my dad, I believe, drive to here, because I don't have a car, and drive back, and then drive me here and drive back in order to see Interstellar in theater. So obviously it does. The theater going experience is worth it to me. But let's now talk about why.
I think there are plenty of important reasons why.
Yeah.
I mean, first off, you got to start. Okay, well, this might be just a me thing, but I have a Starplex. That theater that I would always go to after school is a Starplex theater. They're starting to. It's a chain.
What's Starplex?
It's a Starplex Cinemas. It's a chain. They got like a few places around. So what they did was they implemented these amazing seats. They're leather.
Yes.
Plush reclining seats, like the back will move back and the feet will move
Cinemark.
back.
Anybody?
Yep, that's exactly what I went to.
Yeah, exactly. Like that for me, that is every time I go see a movie, I'm like, oh yeah, like because I'm just gonna like relax. Although to be fair though, you can't recline it too far back because it's a little too comfortable. But sometimes I found myself withering away if I put it too far back. But I put it up a little bit, chill, and it's so relaxing. And add that to just like the theater darkens, lights dim. It's just you and the screen, the gigantic
and the audience.
Yeah, but you can fuck the audience. Okay, it's the screen. It's that huge, gigantic. You'll not find this anywhere else. Screen. Like
exactly.
You can't get it on a laptop, brah. You can watch a movie on a laptop all you want, but it's not even remotely the same thing.
Well, I mean, okay, let me put it this way. No, I don't agree with that. I've watched movies on my laptop and been as into them as a theater, but it's just a matter of giving it the best first step in a way. Like it's okay. You want to impress me, movie? Let's start off on the right foot by giving you a giant screen, great clarity, really comfortable seating, nice air condition, great surround sound. No lights distracting, just you and me. And then you let the movie go from there. Now, I've created likewise, environments. It was for a video game, but a good friend of mine back home, we hung a sheet on his deck, on the outside, down from his deck, and we got a projector, and we played The Last of Us outside on this giant sheet, and that was really awesome. And so, you can simulate a theater pretty decently, but you're never going to be able to afford what a theater can.
Yeah, I've tried doing what you've done. Just turn off all the lights. Just
yeah, I've done that too.
TV.
Like if you get a good HD TV and Blu-ray and shut down all the lights, it's pretty close.
Yeah, but it's just
I've been as enveloped. It's just.
Well,
fine. I want to give the movie the best shot. So why don't we start with, for Interstellar, I wanted to enjoy it as much as humanly possible when I see it for the first time. So I went out of my way to see it on the biggest screen, the best sound system, even the best seats, anything I could.
I mean, I get that. I mean, you take two different things. When I was watching Singing in the Rain for the first time, I saw it on my laptop. I mean, I obviously couldn't watch it in the theater.
Yeah, funny story. When the first time I watched Singing in the Rain was actually in a big theater. It was in the Paramount Theater in Oakland, California, and they had this whole setup like it was an old timey movie. Like they had a Warner Brothers cartoon beforehand. They had a contest. It was all structured like it used to be back in the 40s and 50s.
That's cool.
Cool.
There's this awesome concert that's going to be happening where there's going to be a live orchestra, and they're going to be playing all the music to Singing in the Rain as the movie's happening. It's going to connect.
Oh my god, that's awesome!
That is going to be one of the most interesting movie-going experiences ever. But that's just a side note, just a cool thing I noticed. But when I watched that's one of the most engaging movies I've ever watched. I love that movie. I couldn't keep my eyes off the movie except for one scene. And then you look at a film. I was watching The Amazing Spider-Man 2, which was another theater-going experience that I did not enjoy. And half the time I was so damn bored watching it. I was just like, ugh, what am I doing here? It's, you can easily, have a huge theater, and really the movie won't be investing, even if you have such an immersive atmosphere. It depends on the movie.
And
really.
Even with a movie, as you gotta see it on the big screen. Do I say it? Fine, I'll say it. Pacific Rim.
Yeah,
even a movie like that, where it's you should totally see it on the big screen. It's not like it did it any favors for me.
Well, it kind of did. Well, that brings up an interesting point, Sean, regarding that opinion you just never stop bringing up.
Well, this was very...
Does
this was,
that... No, it wasn't. What that
no, it
brings up an
totally
interesting
was
point.
relevant.
Does watching a movie in the theater versus watching it on your laptop or in a home theater, does that influence how you review it?
Okay, well...
This is a really gray area, I would think.
No, see, I don't think it does. Now, there's some extremes, like, watching a movie for the first time on, like, my iPod Nano might not be a great idea. That might affect it a bit.
Yeah,
Especially
yeah.
if it's big in scope, like, you know, Lawrence of Arabia on my iPod Nano.
Interstellar on your iPod Nano.
Yeah. Well, hey, if I could get a copy... that'd be
Pacific
sweet.
Rim on your iPod Nano. God.
However, it seems to, like, in some cases it might help. Like, seeing... You know, for like, okay, Gravity I've only seen once, and it's going to be a while until I can convince myself to see it again, just because it was so great to be in a theater for it.
Yeah.
Maybe I wouldn't be as impressed.
Even Honest Trailers brought this up in their Honest Trailer Gravity.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
it's like, what? Stop watching that on your phone. Like, it's always about seeing it on the big screen.
However, isn't that kind of a flimsy veil? Isn't that a fault where it's like, if you don't see it on the big screen, you're not, like, going to be as engaged? Like, is Gravity not as good unless it's big? Is
Actually,
big what it's hiding behind?
From my experience, no, it's still amazing. Still,
Okay, see, I haven't seen
yeah.
it, but and some movie, I mean, Gravity might have the, you know, like the actual good movie, which I think it is. I think it's a great movie. But some movies, maybe they are using the wow, like okay, you know, perfect example. I saw Avatar. First time blew my mind after it ended. Second time I saw it, not as much. And now when I see it on like DVD and stuff, it's just, it's okay, you know, it's okay.
Well, that's because Avatar isn't okay.
Exactly.
Oh my God, I wasn't-
However, it made $2 billion in theaters.
Yeah, in
On
theaters.
new 3D.
Yeah.
On IMAX. See, that was hiding behind the spectacle. And film is based on spectacle. From the beginning, it's been about spectacle. The theater is just another way of doing that. That's why we have bigger and bigger theaters, because, you know, television keeps getting HDer.
The HDR.
Well, yeah. I mean, seriously, that is why.
True.
They're getting bigger budgets. You know, Breaking Bad looks very cinematic. And
Indeed.
that has nothing to do with budget, but like that looks really cinematic. Walking Dead, Game of Thrones, all these big shows with really good looking visuals. Movies are, you know, getting nervous because they can get that for free at home with their HBO and AMC
For
subscription.
free. Wait, for
Another-
free.
Well, you know what I mean.
Here's a great example of that point, Sean. Toy
Okay.
Story is one of my favorite Pixar movies.
Okay.
And so I remember countless times as a kid watching Toy Story 1 and 2 on my TV. I love the movie.
me too.
Great movie, great family movie, lots of fun. So when Toy Story 3 was coming out, around that time, I believe, they were showing, I think beforehand, they were showing Toy Story 1 and 2 double features.
That sounds so good right now.
Yeah. It was.
Well, if you own both movies, Max, go for it.
Well,
No,
yeah.
I don't, though.
Really? You're such a big
No.
fan. I thought you would. Huh.
I thought I would too. I know.
Yeah. But so they were showing double features like back. It's like, you know, how a movie theater does like Marvel marathons now.
Yeah.
So
Oh, I
Jeez,
wish we could do
that'd
that
be-
too.
that'd be
my
impossible
friend,
now.
my
Wait
friend
till
has done that. My friend has
you
done
say that, Sean. Out of the draft
Bro,
house.
let me just give you a word of advice. Do not go into the movie theater having drank a lot of Red Bull, because my word, is it going to be hard for you to
Well,
get through
duh.
those movies. My friend drank like 3
Unless
cans
you're
of
on the
Red
edge
Bull.
of a theater seat, because
Yeah.
then you can just, I mean, the edge
No.
of a theater row.
No.
Because
No.
you can just
You
get out of
can't-
the theater easily. That's what I was trying
You
to say.
can't leave during a Marvel movie? God, why would you
Yes,
ever?
you can.
Unless you've seen it
Ever.
multiple times, and you can be like, I know what's going to happen here. I'm going to head out for a second.
No, never. The movies are great. I would never leave.
Oh,
but
you can talk and make jokes in the movie, but you can't leave it to go freaking go to the bathroom.
You know, like a legitimate, like, physical requirement. Like, hey, my bladder's gonna, like, I don't know,
Fucking explode.
get poisoned.
You always go to the bathroom before a movie.
Right, but I have felt legitimate physical pain to get through a movie. Like, multiple times I have suffered through.
Chris
But
Nolan movies
still.
have a bad habit of doing that to me, too. They're so
Anyway.
engaging, but I just need to come.
So, Toy Story 1 and 2, double feature. I went to go see that with my family, and I enjoyed the movies just as much. I mean, maybe a little more because I was just in that immersion, but I still love Toy Story 1 and 2 just as much as I did on VHS. And,
Yeah, so-
they're great movies.
I don't, like, I think, again, like, I see theater as just a good first impression. Like, show off the best you can, because movies are meant to be shown on the big screen, as in, they're spectacle-based. So that's why I go out of my way to see it. It's not like, okay, how about, also put it this way. If I could get Interstellar even on like Blu-ray, and I had a great HD TV, the same day as it's opening in theaters, I'd still go to theaters.
Yeah.
So take that for what it's worth. I'm not anti-theater at all. And sometimes it is a better experience. I think I'd say that for most movies. And if it was the same price.
I also want to bring up another very important point about movies and home. Can't pause a movie in a theater.
That's true.
You can't pause it. You know how many times?
Films?
You know how easy it is for me at home when I'm at home when I'm watching a movie. Sometimes I'm like, oh, maybe I want to grab a snack. Maybe I should pause the movie. But I stop myself. I'm like, no, I'm enjoying the movie. I should have gotten a snack before I got there.
The counter argument is just, movies aren't made to be paused.
I know.
Let it run, let it keep its own pace. Like, the editor isn't sitting there going, in this scene, I think it'd work if it, paused for 30 minutes while people get nachos.
Yeah, exactly. Wouldn't that be great? Just pause for 5 minutes and then keep going.
The old times movies did intermission, so
that's true.
That's a cool idea.
Fiddler on the Roof.
Let's bring that back.
10 Commandments, y'all.
Fiddler on the Roof.
Oh,
God bless that movie.
Funny story.
3 hours.
When Return of the King was coming out, we were all in when we were all in I was in 4th grade at the time. Everybody kept talking about how there was a rumor that Return of the King actually had an intermission part. It was so long it had an intermission part. Now, as I saw the movie, not even the extended edition has that. But that was a big rumor floating around at the time that everybody could not stop talking about.
Fiddler on the Roof has an intermission, and it needs it. Oh my.
How
3
long?
hours. 3 hours.
Quite an epic.
Oh my god, and The Wolf of Wall Street's 3 hours and doesn't have an intermission, so.
Also, the third Hobbit movie's 3 hours and 15 minutes or something crazy like that. It's not going to have an intermission.
What?
Hold on a second.
What?
That's the number I saw.
The standard edition?
The third Hobbit that's coming out.
Oh my god. I mean,
3 freaking hours? Jesus.
I mean, I don't mind that because they're good movies, but still.
Battle of the Five Armies, let me look it up.
That movie
does not have an official runtime.
That movie better be freaking awesome, okay? It's hard enough for Martin Scorsese to hold my attention for 2.5 hours. God forbid.
Scorsese can do 3 hours. I don't know if Jackson can do 3 hours.
Return of the King, extended edition, Jackson can do that much time.
Well, no, because that's an extended edition. That's not theater. That's
I would sit in a theater for that. Oh, in fact, I did. That's another film-going experience I want to talk about. I was not into Lord of the Rings when it came out. Of course, I was a little too young to be into it. I guess I don't know. And so I didn't see it in theaters. In fact, it took me a while to even see any of the movies. But I've always wanted to see Return of the King because it was my third favorite. Okay, not nearly as long as it took you, Max, but it's my third favorite movie, Return of the King. And so I really wanted to see it in theaters. And sure enough, they were doing a special showing one time. My dad and I drove to here, actually, in Bozeman. This was before I moved here for college. And it was great because it was the extended edition in theaters. And it was really cool to see in theaters.
4 hours.
And I think there was an intermission. That's funny.
I mean, probably. We're talking about a 4-hour movie, a legitimate 4-hour movie. So
extended is is really close to 4 hours flat.
Mm-hmm.
Oof.
Yeah.
So, do we want to wrap up?
Hold on. Before we wrap up, I'll say this much. When it comes to I think now Cinemark, and I think Regal too, have these things called classic showings. They show an older movie. And, on the big screen. I don't think those would be, happening if they weren't doing at least a little bit well. And I don't think those would be doing well if people didn't value the movie-going experience. You could go out and you could Netflix, you could freaking
Well, not always.
rent. I mean, yeah, not always, but, they're still around. They've been going around for a few years, so that must mean they're doing something, right?
See, it's funny. You bring that up, and I actually wanted to bring up my actual favorite movie-going experience, and that is a perfect segue. And I'd forgotten about it until, halfway through recording. I felt it would be a great way for me to kind of close off my case. I started being so negative about audience, and I am.
Really?
Yeah,
You're being negative about something?
Shocked. You know what, Max? Don't be negative about something. Let's be negative about your attitude, mister.
Oh.
Anyway, my favorite movie-going experience, I don't think it can ever really be topped, is the 70th anniversary re-theatrical release, one night only, turned into 2 because it was so popular, of Casablanca. It went around in theaters, and I cannot tell you how great it was to see it very popular. In fact, like I just said a few seconds ago, it was so popular that it went around a second time. It was a one-night event, and then they did it for another night. I went to both because I'm me. But it was so incredible to watch my favorite movie, and every single joke, to hear the audience laughing, to hear everyone just getting into it, and to hear them applauding after it ended. to get the confirmation that people still like my favorite movie, like having that, I don't know, like I've just been surrounded by people, you know, that would probably like it, but the general audience loved it, and I just shared in that love of the film, and I finally saw my favorite movie up on the big screen. That is by far my favorite movie-going experience, and it was very much improved by the audience. So I will give the audience, the general public, credit for that. They made an amazing movie-going experience then. I got to share in my love of that movie with them.
Yeah, and on that note, probably my favorite movie-going experience that I can think of right now in my head is when I went to go see the triple screening of Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz and the World's End, with a Q&A with Simon Pegg, Nick Frost, and Edgar Wright. Basically, everybody who was there wanted to be there. It was sort of a contest to send in an email with your reasoning as to why you should get a ticket. So everybody who went there absolutely, like, they wanted to be there. And so everybody was respectful. And during the World's End, my favorite moment, during the World's End, like, there are a lot of fight scenes in the World's End, and they pull off a fight scene, they pull off, like, a really cool move, and, like, everybody starts cheering, and both this guy 2 seats away from me and I both scream holy shit at the same time, and it was amazing. Like, you know, that movie was, you know, first off, I reviewed it for CinemaTalk, like, a year and a half ago, and also, that movie is totally, like, one of the quintessential movies that you have to see in a theater with a huge crowd. A huge, respectful crowd, because it can lead to some fantastic moments. Sure, I mean, we've brought up a lot of negatives, but that's only because everything else is so goddamn positive that, like, the negatives just stick out so badly. I still completely promote the movie going to a movie theater and watching, even with a big crowd of people, because not all of them can be good, but the ones that are good are so very, very worth it.
Well, yeah, obviously you gotta go. Like, it's worth it. I'm just complaining because those minor things really upset me, you know?
Yeah.
And again, like, that's the thing. I want to make, like, a goal in life is to get a home theater, you know, be able to set aside, like, a whole room and a giant
man cave.
Bad.
Oh, boy.
A film man cave.
Yeah. And also, but I will say also, Regal showing, like, 10 trailers before the movie, that's gotta stop.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
AMC
Listen, I know we love
like
trailers
7.
and all, but there's a filter, there's a limit. Okay,
No, you know what
I don't
AMC
know.
does? You know what AMC does? It shows all the movies. It goes, yeah, we know you love trailers. Shut up.
Well, here's the thing, Max. For me, there's this moment where the trailer ends, and I just wait, please be the green screen. And then when that green screen appears, I'm like, yay.
Because you love trailers.
Well, I love trailers too, but then there's a point where it's like, okay, can we just get the movie already? And
I don't
usually,
know, even when I was at, like, Interstellar, I was like, yee, more trailers. Like, of course, I wanted to see the movie.
Yeah, Interstellar shows all the big ones. Like, I saw Big Hero 6 and have, like, a Christian movie.
Oh, that was so surprising. What was that? Let's talk about that.
Wait, did you see the same one where it's like a Christian rock band?
Yeah. What was that?
Yeah, that was really weird.
Okay, Max, we're gonna set that topic aside. I legitimately want to talk about this.
Yeah, that was
rising of the Christian music, the Christian movie subculture.
That's a really
weird.
Yeah, especially for a movie. Yeah. Anyway,
let's wrap this up.
Actually, real quick, one more question before we wrap things up. You guys have, like, a preferred food that you like to eat during the movie, like maybe aside from popcorn, anything?
I get a popcorn and a Dr. Pepper. That's it. I'm purist that way.
Well,
no candy.
Praise the good doctor.
Praise the good doctor.
I don't know if I'm ever gonna get something. First off, I always open the wrapper before the movie starts.
Thank you.
Because many people you hear, like...
I have did the thing where it's like, I try to, like, scramble and open it because I forget.
No, it'll be
so
like
bad.
you hear this.
Yeah. See, that's it. Actually, Interstellar a few days ago, I know for a fact this was the most recent showing. You know, the credits, there's a lot of credits in that movie.
Yeah.
And the music is this really slow build. And it's really hard to be like this slow build, like Warner Brothers, like Hans Zimmer doing this really slow, and you're... It's like, let the music build slowly.
Seriously.
Let Hans Zimmer do his thing. By the way, did you know Hans Zimmer did the score for The Lion King? Did not know that.
Yeah, I knew that.
I did.
But yeah,
awesome.
So, like,
I'm trying to think. Fruit snacks is very popular with me. Because
I feel like this is a really weak ending point, by the way.
I want to say, I was curious.
Before we end it, though, I want to say one more experience. I kind of just want to get, it'll be a good wrap-up, I promise. And then
for me, unsalted popcorn, always.
Coca-Cola.
I mean, unbuttered.
I always have butter.
I have a little bit of butter.
Always
I love
go
how
for very salted with water.
Has the butter dispenser, so it lets you choose how much butter you want to get. I like that.
Butter, no.
Yeah. Anyway,
we should do popcorn talk sometime.
Hey, I'm a professional popcorn maker. I can say that.
Oh, that's
So
true.
I've worked at concessions. I'm a professional, Max, and your no butter opinion sickens me, sir, as a professional. And I'm
Jesus.
good at buttering.
I
Forget-
would say no
good.
butter,
Dude,
please.
forget Pacific Rim. The greatest debate that Sean and Max will ever have. No butter on your popcorn? Are you ridiculous? What?
I am an artist with evenly buttering the popcorn. You have no idea how good I've gotten after filling hundreds of them.
People-
Alright, fine,
people
Larry,
take-
Larry, go with your story and then
People
we'll wrap this
take
up.
pictures of Sean's popcorn and put that as like their fetish food pictures on
Goes
Twitter.
viral.
Anyway, yeah.
Hashtag Sean from the Myrna.
Anyway, so while that Avengers showing was probably my favorite movie-going experience, the movie-going experience that began my real, like my true, man, I do this all the time thing with movie-going experience was the movie Source Code. What happened was I was going to go see one movie, don't even remember what it was, and it was sold out. That always tells you, man, get there early or buy your tickets online.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, Fandango, Starplex does their own system. Anyway, so we're like, damn, what are we gonna see? And then I was younger, I wasn't into the whole thriller suspense genre. That was my thing. And then we
formative
see,
years.
yeah, and then we see there's this movie Source Code. Me and my dad literally have no idea what it is. We're like, I didn't even know really was familiar with Jake Gyllenhaal's work. But he's like, look, if you want to, it's either we do this or we're not seeing a movie. And I'm like, fine, just go see Source Code or whatever. So we get it, and I'm blown out of my mind. The thrills in that movie are so well handled, and the plot is great. And after I finished that movie, I was like, why the hell don't I see every great suspense thriller movie ever? And like after that, it was like every single movie that I wanted to see in theaters. There was no doubt about it. That was the moment where even if it was a comedy, it could have been a comedy like Dumb and Number 2 or 22 Jump Street, or it could have been a thriller like Source Code or Prisoners. Whatever the movie was, I wanted to be in a theater seat watching it because it just wouldn't have been the same, man. Wouldn't have been the same.
All right, cool. Well, I mean, that makes sense. So,
Yep.
I think that was good. I think it was a good debate to have. Or discussion?
Well,
I don't
just
know.
discussion.
Discussion.
I mean, just to reiterate, I love going to the movie theater, but that's like 99% just because I love going to see movies.
Yeah,
I
and
just love
that's
seeing movies.
why over the summer when I get the chance, or like when I'm on break from college, I just go to the movies like at 10 o'clock, and like nobody's ever there. So it's
Yeah, that is cool to get early.
yeah. I did that
wow.
for Maleficent, Amazing Spider-Man 2, and like 22 Jump Street and all that stuff. So
Wasn't
Good idea.
worth
So
it for
anyway.
Amazing Spider-Man 2 though. Oh well.
whatever. That
Still
was a good
haven't seen
time. That was a good discussion, guys. I mean,
Yep.
it's not like
Yeah.
there's anything else going on in the film community right now, right? I mean, there's like
We
nothing
can
worth talking about.
Yeah.
Do we want to like do a mini or like next topic? Like, I'm down to talk about it.
Mm.
Do you
I'm just
I
want
would
kidding.
be
to?
willing.
Because I really do want to talk about the psychological effects that Dumb and Dumber 2 has left on people. Honestly,
Yeah,
that's what
it
we're all
is-
talking about, right?
It is sweeping the nation. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
That's-
Aside from
that's
that
what
whole,
wait, we were all talking about that, right?
Well,
yeah,
we were
aside
talking
from that
about the-
whole Christian movie
that's
subgenre
right.
uprising.
Oh,
We
yeah.
will get to that.
Yeah.
Anyway, we should wrap this up.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
anyway, yeah, I think this is good because again, there's nothing that anybody's talking about right now in film culture.
yeah,
nothing.
nothing.
But until next time, whenever we review or discuss or do whatever next week, it's been good talking to you guys. I hope you have a great December. Hope you guys got great deals on Black Friday and whatever, or
I
Cyber
did
Monday.
actually. Oh,
Yeah.
That's good.
Black Friday, I got the Lord of the Rings extended trilogy on Blu-ray for like ridiculously cheap. So there's a
Yay.
movie-related Black Friday purchase.
Nice. I
What about
wish I
Cyber
could have got that.
Monday? Cyber Monday,
And
bro.
I
Yeah.
got my sister every single Harry Potter film.
Oh,
But
what?
she does not listen,
Shoot.
so
Wait,
Oh,
what?
shoot.
yeah, it
Give
was
that
like
to me if she's not listening. Jesus.
well, it's a birthday present.
Oh.
It's
That
just
would be
she
awkward.
never listens.
That would be awkward.
Oh, it's a surprise. Okay.
Yes.
Anyway, with that in mind, guys, we'll see you guys next week. My name is Max.
My name is Sean.
And my name is Larry.
All right, you'll hear us later, everybody.
Bye.
All right.
All right.
Everyone, this has actually been a PSA. Be a good audience member.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no
seriously,
cell
just go.
phones.
You can
No,
go
sir.
watch movies if you can watch them well.
Just be a good audience member.
Yeah,
Be respectful of the movie and the other movie goers.
yeah.
Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.